Betrayal is one thing. Betrayal from the two people you trusted the most? That's something else entirely. I had faced war, seen my brothers in arms fall, and endured the worst life had to offer on the battlefield. But nothing could have prepared me for the battle I'd face at home. My wife and my own brother, the two people I would have taken a bullet for, shattered my world in the most unforgivable way. They thought I'd never find out. They thought I'd be too broken to fight back. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Before I share the darkest chapter of my life and the brutal revenge that followed, hit that subscribe button. This story is packed with twists, betrayal, and justice served cold. You won't want to miss it. I had spent 15 years in the military, serving multiple deployments overseas. Being in the Marines had shaped me into a man of discipline, honor, and resilience. Every time I left home, I carried the hope of coming back to my wife, Lisa, the woman I had loved since high school. She was the reason I fought so hard to stay alive. Lisa was everything to me, or so I thought. She had been the one writing me letters, sending me care packages, keeping me sane while I was thousands of miles away. My brother, Jake, was my best friend, my closest family, my blood. I had no reason to doubt either of them. When I finally retired from service, I was ready to start a new life. I had saved enough money to buy us a home, invest in a future, maybe even start a family. But the moment I stepped through my front door, I felt something was off. Lisa wasn't excited to see me. Her smile was forced, her hugs felt empty, and her eyes no longer lit up when she looked at me. I thought maybe it was just an adjustment period. After all, I had been away for so long. I told myself she just needed time. Then there was Jake. My brother had always been my biggest supporter, the guy who would drop everything to have my back. But now, he was distant. Whenever I was around, he seemed tense, distracted. He'd avoid eye contact, cut conversations short, and suddenly get called into work whenever I tried to make plans with him. I ignored the signs at first. Maybe I didn't want to see them. Until the night, everything fell apart. It started with a simple mistake. Lisa had left her phone on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. Normally, I wouldn't even think of checking it. I respected her privacy. But then a message popped up. It was from Jake. "Miss you already. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." My heart stopped. My hands trembled as I unlocked her phone. Lisa had never been one to change her passcode. I scrolled through their messages, my breathing growing heavier with each one. The messages went back months. Photos, videos, plans, love confessions. They had been together while I was overseas. They had been together while I was fighting for my life. My wife and my brother. The air left my lungs, my vision blurred, and my chest ached like I had taken a bullet. But I wasn't just a soldier. I was a strategist. I didn't rage. I didn't scream. I didn't break things. I planned. Over the next few days, I acted like nothing was wrong. I kissed Lisa goodbye every morning, sent Jake casual texts, pretended to be the oblivious fool they thought I was. But behind the scenes, I was preparing for war. First, I went to a lawyer. I gathered every piece of evidence I had. Texts, call logs, even hotel receipts I found in Lisa's emails. My lawyer assured me that this would work in my favor when it came time to ruin them both. Then I installed security cameras in our home. Lisa thought I had set them up for safety reasons because of break-ins in the neighborhood. The truth? I needed to catch them in the act. And I did. 3 days later, while I was out of town visiting an old military buddy, I watched through my phone as my wife invited Jake into my home, into my bed. That was all I needed. Now it was time for the real revenge. I planned everything down to the last detail. The next weekend, I threw a welcome home party at our house. I invited all our friends, family, and even some of Jake's coworkers. Lisa was ecstatic. She thought I was finally settling back into civilian life. She had no idea. Right before the toast, I connected my phone to the big screen TV in the living room. Everyone was laughing, drinking, celebrating, until the screen lit up with the security footage. Lisa and Jake. In my bed. In my house. The room fell silent. Gasps. Whispers. Then chaos. Lisa dropped her glass, her face draining of color. Jake's jaw tightened, his hands curling into fists. What the hell is this? Lisa shrieked. I took a sip of my drink and smirked. This, sweetheart, is what happens when you betray the wrong man. Then I turned to Jake. And you, my own brother. You thought I wouldn't find out? You thought I'd just accept this. The guests were stunned. Lisa tried to grab my arm, tears streaming down her face. Mike, please. Let's talk about this privately. I pulled out the divorce papers and dropped them in front of her. No need. Everything's already handled. Consider yourself single. Jake tried to speak, but I cut him off. Oh, and by the way, I continued, my voice dripping with satisfaction, I sent all the evidence to your job. Pretty sure they don't look kindly on employees who sleep with their brother's wife. Jake's face twisted in horror. You didn't. Oh, I did. Lisa lost everything. She begged, pleaded, said it was a mistake. But I wasn't interested in hearing excuses. Thanks to the airtight prenup I had signed before I deployed, she got nothing, no house, no money, no alimony. Jake? He lost his job, his reputation, and the respect of everyone who knew him. He tried calling me for weeks, but I never answered. I walked away from it all, without looking back. The lesson? Betrayal is the worst kind of war, and if you're going to betray a military veteran, you better be ready for the battle that follows. Lisa and Jake thought they could get away with it. They thought I'd break. They thought I'd be weak. They were wrong. Because some wars aren't fought with weapons. Some wars are fought with patience, intelligence, and the perfect plan. And in the end, I won.